So you think you need piles of cash to get into real estate? Think again. Today I'm going to break down how you can get started in investing in properties with as little as $0 out of pocket, and why this new strategy might be one of the smartest moves you'll ever make to build your wealth. Without further ado, let's dive in. One of the biggest hurdles new real estate investors face is that initial down payment. Traditional lenders usually require 20 to 25% down, depending on the type of loan you're looking for. That upfront cost keeps many aspiring investors out of the game. But have you heard the good news? There are several creative financing strategies roaming the internet that'll allow for you to acquire property with little to no money out of pocket, and yes, they are legit. Here are the 3 powerful ways to start investing in real estate with $0 down. I'm also going to be giving away a bonus at the end of today's video, so be sure to stay tuned. All right, strategy number 1, seller financing. Seller financing, also called owner financing, is when the property seller acts as the bank. Instead of you going to a traditional lender, the seller agrees to finance your purchase directly. You sign a promissory note agreeing to pay the seller a certain amount each month until the purchase price is completely paid off. Now, this is often with interest attached to it, which makes this enticing. How can this work with 0% down? Many sellers ask for a down payment, but not all do. Motivated sellers, such as those facing foreclosures, inheriting a property they don't want to, or just needing a fast sale, may agree to finance 100% of the purchase price. In this case, your only upfront cost is minimal. Perhaps only the closing cost, or better yet, only the legal fees to set this up. Sometimes you can even roll closing cost into the financing terms if the seller is flexible. That means there's truly no money out of pocket. Now, seller financing bypasses traditional banks. It eliminates the need for credit checks or strict underwriting, and it makes it much easier for buyers to qualify. The terms are highly flexible. It allows both parties to negotiate the interest rate, the payment schedule, and the loan length to fit their needs. Without a bank in the middle, the closing process is so much faster, making transactions so much more efficient. And for sellers, this approach can be especially appealing since it provides the opportunity to earn steady income from interest payments rather than just receiving a single lump sum. Now, seller financing comes with a lot of complexities, so let's go over some examples. Let's say a property is worth $200,000. Instead of putting 20% down and borrowing $160,000 from a bank, you negotiate with the seller to finance the full $200,000. You might agree to pay $1,200 per month for 15 years at an agreed upon interest. This is how a deal works. Let's go over strategy number 2, subject to. Subject to means acquiring a property subject to the existing mortgage that the seller already has in place. Instead of taking out a new loan, you just take over the seller's mortgage payments while the loan remains in their name. The deed transfers to you, meaning you become the property owner, but the original loan stays in the seller's name until it's paid off or refinanced. But how can this work with $0 down? In many subject to deals, sellers are highly motivated, and in such cases, they may not require any down payment. Because you're stepping in, you're going to take control of the property, and you're going to start making the monthly payments immediately, and this could provide a major financial uplift. The only upfront cost might be minor administrative or legal fees, which can sometimes be structured into the payments. Subject to deals come with several advantages that make them attractive to investors. Since no new loan is acquired, buyers can avoid the hassle of bank qualifications and credit checks altogether. Those deals can also provide instant equity if the seller has already paid down a significant portion of the mortgage, allowing the buyer to step into a property with built-in value from day one. Additionally, buyers inherit the seller's existing interest rate, which may be far lower than the current market rates, making the financing terms much more favorable. So let's say, for example, you entered a subject to deal with a person who got an extremely low interest rate during the height of the COVID pandemic, where interest rates were at a record low. This could be extremely advantageous for you, and in fact, could potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest throughout the repayment period. Now, there are several risks to consider when using this creative financing strategy that you need to keep in mind. One major concern is that the due on sale clause, which allows lenders to call the loan due if ownership changes, can possibly come up. This is rarely enforced in practice. However, it is something you still need to be aware of and something I absolutely need to make sure that you understand. Another risk involves the seller's credit. Since missed payments by the buyer can negatively impact the seller's credit score, you want to make sure you have a great due diligence process on who you are allowing to be the person making your payments. Ethical considerations also play a role, as maintaining transparency with the seller is crucial to building trust and preventing misunderstandings. Let's go over some sub-2 examples. Let's say a homeowner is behind on a mortgage payment and owes $195,000 on a house worth $220,000. Their mortgage payment is $1,100 a month at a low interest rate. You You agree to take over the payments, and in return, the seller avoids foreclosure. You then rent the property out for $1,600 a month, creating a $500 net cash flow, again, with no money down. Many people have never heard of Sub 2 before, but the advantages of this strategy make it extremely popular among people who love creative financing and certain well-known real estate investors such as Pace Morby. Okay, now before we move on, I just want to remind you guys that the Tax-Free Millionaire Summit is right around the corner. It's happening October 21st through October 23rd, and if you want to discover game-changing tax strategies that could lower your tax bill by 50 to 100%, you don't want to miss out on this event. I'm going to be teaching advanced real estate strategies, income-shifting strategies, techniques to offset W-2, 1099 income, and for the first time, I'll be adding in alternative investments and much more. If you have a high tax bill, this is the event for you. Hit the link in the description before we sell out of tickets. We always sell out of tickets, and this is your chance to learn how to build real, lasting tax-free wealth that could change everything for you and your family. All right, let's go on to number 3. Strategy number 3 is lease options or rent to own. A lease option is an agreement where you rent a property with the option to buy it later at an agreed upon price. Part of your rent may be credited toward the eventual purchase, and you have the right, but not the obligation, to buy the property during or at the end of the lease term. How can this work with 0% down? Normally, lease options require an option fee up front. This is between 1 to 5% of the purchase price. But if you negotiate very well, you can convince the seller to waive the option fee in exchange for higher monthly rent or a longer lease term. Some motivated landlords, especially those struggling with vacancies, are open to such arrangements. You then control the property, sublease it to tenants, and profit from the difference between your rent and what you collect. Later, you can exercise the option to purchase once you've built equity or you've improved your financial position. Lease options offer several advantages that make them a powerful tool for investing. They allow you to control a property without taking on a mortgage. They give you the benefits of ownership without the immediate responsibility of financing, and you get the ability to lock in the purchase price, meaning if the property appreciates in value, you still have the right to buy it at today's lower price. Lease options also create cash flow opportunities since you can sublease the property for more than your monthly lease payments. Additionally, this strategy provides valuable time to prepare by allowing you to build credit. It allows you to save money. It allows for you to get that secured financing before deciding to exercise the option to buy. Now, let's go over some lease option examples. Let's say you lease a house for $1,200 a month with an option to buy at $190,000 within 5 years. You sublease the property for $1,500 a month, earning $300 a month cash flow. After 5 years, the house appreciates to $230,000. You can exercise your option to buy at $190,000, and instantly you have $40,000 in equity, all with 0% out of your pocket. Pretty freaking cool, huh? Okay, here's one last bonus strategy for how to buy a real estate property with $0 down. And it's simple. You can just bring in a co-borrower. A co-borrower is someone who is often a business partner, a friend, or family member who applies for the loan with you, and they share in responsibilities for the repayment. If the co-borrower has stronger credit or higher income, then their qualifications can help secure financing that you would not have been able to receive. This is a very big benefit to you and could possibly be a reason why you get into real estate for the very first time. Here's where the 0% down part comes in. The co-borrower may agree to provide the down payment and closing costs in exchange for equity in the property or a share of the rental income or long-term appreciation benefits. Essentially, you're leveraging their financial strength to cover the upfront costs while contributing your own value through deal sourcing, property management, or renovation oversight. By structuring the partnership correctly, you can technically enter the deal without putting up any of your own cash, while your co-borrower benefits from passive ownership and shared profits. This makes it a win-win scenario where both parties gain from the investment without one person shouldering all of the risk. Imagine a $300,000 rental property that requires a 20% down payment. You don't have the cash, but your co-borrower does. They provide the down payment and help you qualify for the loan with their income and credit, while you handle finding the deal, managing the property, and dealing with the tenants, and overseeing any repairs. Both of you are listed on the mortgage, and the rental income covers the monthly payments, and in return, you agree to split the cash flow and long-term equity, 50-50, giving you a way to acquire the property with $0 out of your own pocket while still benefiting from the rental income and future appreciation. These are some pretty cool ways that you can get into real estate with literally zero money out of pocket. So when people tell me all the time, oh, I don't know, I have to save up money to get into real estate. No, you don't. You just have to be willing to look for the right information and get the right access at the right time. My name is Karlton Dennis. I hope this video gave you access to the information you were looking for today. If nothing else, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers.